Hey guys, Stephen Fillers here in the garage, and today we're going to talk about choosing the right oil for our race application. To help us out today, we actually have Lake Speed Jr. How you doing, Lake?
Doing well, Stephen.
Thanks for coming in today.
Happy to
Now,
do it.
Lake, tell us a little bit about this question. What is going to help us choose the right oil for our race application?
Well, the key thing to know about choosing an oil for a race car or track day car is any good quality oil of the right viscosity should prevent your engine from exploding.
Okay.
But there is a difference in the amount of wear that can occur in your engine based on if you're choosing a proper race chemistry or something else.
Okay.
Right? Really what you have to do is you have to consider what's called the 4 R's. Having the right oil, the right place, the right time, and the right amount. Okay. The right oil is basically determined as having the right chemistry for the application. If you think about, say, like a diesel engine oil, a lot of guys will use a diesel engine oil in their race car or track cars. Again, it doesn't cause the engine to blow up, but that diesel oil is kind of like a marathon runner, designed for low intensity, long duration, right? Where that race chemistry is kind of like Usain Bolt. It's a 100-meter sprinter, right? Designed for very high intensity, short duration. When you match the specialist to the specialty, you get better results. So, for example, that diesel oil, while it won't blow the engine up, it does cause it to wear at a higher rate. When you bring in the Usain Bolt, the race chemistry, you get much lower rates of wear and improved performance.
Okay. Well, so how do we choose the right oil and viscosity for our engine and application?
Well, the viscosity choice is really based on the operating temperature of the engine. Okay. All oils get thinner as they get hotter. So when you have that right race chemistry, right, which is the right oil, but having that right viscosity is all about matching the oil viscosity to the operating temperature. A good example is like a drag race guy, right? They typically run at very low temperatures, so they typically run lower viscosity oils, which makes the flow rate of the oil about the same as a higher viscosity oil that runs in a high temperature engine. It's like an air-cooled engine that runs really hot, you need a higher viscosity.
Okay, so besides temperature, what else is going to affect this?
Well, because viscosity is just a fancy word for resistance to flow, the bearing clearances in the engine dictate the flow of the oil through the engine. For example, your rod bearings are fed from the main bearings. If the main bearing clearance is too wide, you'll bleed too much oil off. Then you'll starve the rod bearing and you have an engine failure. Not a good thing, right? So having the right viscosity for the bearing clearances enables the oil to flow properly through the engine. Again, back to our 4 R's. Right oil, right place, right time, right amount. So the viscosity of the oil, which is dictated by operating temperature, as well as the bearing clearances, all work together to make sure that that right oil is getting throughout the engine in the proper amount, proper time.
Okay, great. So aside from all this, does fuel come into the equation at all? Fuel
plays a huge role, right? So if you're running gasoline, you're running about, say, a 14-to-1 air-fuel ratio. If you go to methanol or E85, you're going to go to about a 6-to-1 or 7-to-1 air-fuel ratio. When you do that, you're basically running twice as much fuel. So that causes more fuel dilution of the oil. Especially at low operating temperatures, you get way more fuel dilution, which lowers the viscosity. So you have to factor in that viscosity choice based on the fuel choice as well.
Lake, thank you again for coming out today.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yes, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Same here.
Now, guys at home, if you want to know any more about oil, check the Driven Racing Oils YouTube page. You actually have a really good series about the 5 things you should know about oil in general. It's going to bring you up to speed in a very good way, and we're going to link to that in the description below. Now, in the description, we'll also have a dealer locator so you can find a Parts Pro dealer near you. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been Parts Pro in the Garage.